Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing on this fantastic Thursday morning? About to kick this off. So the thumbnail says risk off. Let me go over here and show you what I'm talking about. So let's go look at the Swiss Franc Yen Index. That would be the SXY here on TVC. So this is the Swiss Franc Index. So basically in risk off environments, this thing will gain speed to the upside, right? It'll get stronger. So here is March 2020. You can see how before the Fed started talking about interjecting mad amounts of stimulus into the market, this thing was blowing off to the top side. But then the Fed stepped in and started introducing liquidity to basically get this stuff under wraps. And then, it still went up. So here's what we're seeing now, right? This is neither bad nor good. I mean, it's essentially just trading normally, but weaker, right? Weaker. So you would expect this to be gaining strength right now if we were seeing a risk-off environment. Now we do see risk-on assets such as the SP 500, cryptocurrencies, and even a few currencies like the euro, the pound, all weakening while the dollar is gaining strength. So let's go look at the JXY, which is the Japanese currency index. Here we go. This thing is coming off. So exactly the opposite as what we would think we would be seeing in a risk-off environment. Now, this could be coming off to just turn right around and go back to the upside. So this thing could be weakening for position setting down here. Massive buying positions. And then once again, here's March, that massive influx of capital. So that really basically, yeah. So let's see what happens here. On the USD JPY, this thing looks exactly inverse, right? It looks exactly inverse to the Japanese yen index, but it's the only one. CAD yen as well, seeing a bit of strength. Not so much strength here in the Aussie yen. Not so much. And the pound yen, exactly the opposite. Did see some strength to the upside, but boom, this is weakness in the pound. If the yen's going down, this should be going up. But the last few days, we've seen the pound get really, really weak, which is good for me because I'm sitting in a short position up here. Probably going to close that position pretty soon because that's a nice move. It's actually the quarterly expansion. Unfortunately, we didn't see the quarterly expansion until the last few days, right? So I have this low here. This is a 3-month chart. So these are your quarterly candles. Lows will act and highs will act as resistance on the higher time frame charts, but the actual resistance is down here. So that could potentially be where price is headed. Now, I don't know if it is or not, but it's potentially where it is heading. So what we want to see now, if we're going to see continued weakness, is we want to see the pound trade back up into this candle's opening price at 1.36659, and we want to see it start to get weak there. So if you go into the daily chart and see where that is, it's not very far from where we currently are. Here's that level there. There's a Heath level right here, also at that same price. But the thing is if we get back up there in the next couple days, then this is going to look like a stab to the downside for people to get long. I don't like seeing big moves to the downside retraced instantly because that's generally indicative of a trap. Now, in most cases, trend lines can be subjective. So let's get rid of this. I've been talking about this for months, all right, since we traded up into it like last quarter. I was looking for this trend line. Now this is on log. If I take the log scale off, leave the trend line, tack to the same two highs, take the log scale off, you can clearly see that this is already broken out to the upside and is basically coming in for a retest, right? So quarterly resistance is here. Boom. Now that's not subjective. That does not change no matter what scale you're looking at. But on the log scale, you have not broken out of this descending trend line. You traded last 2 quarters up into it, and now you're seeing a rejection. So down here could be support. Up here is definitely resistance. So I was looking for a range expansion to the downside. And that's basically what we've seen. So we're going to keep our eyes on it. Strength today is nothing more than a bounce. All right. It's nothing more than a bounce. It was a massive move to the downside. So it's going to be difficult to find any support or resistance levels to possibly look for. The first one that I would see if support or resistance comes back in is 1.35037. Now that's this 2-hour resistance level. If price trades back up there, I want to see a rejection, right? If you take out this swing high, then it's going to move higher and look for a resistance in this area, unless it's just not going to go lower anymore. That's the thing with Forex. You can go down and up and sideways. It's crazy. Very seldom do you ever get on a nice, massive trend like this, right? Very seldom. Most of the time it's down, up, down, up. It's basically just stopping everybody out left and right. Because as traders, what we're looking to capitalize on is longer term trends. Now we have seen a nice longer term downtrend on the quarterly chart. Here's your high, low, lower high, lower low. So you are in a downtrend on the daily time frame on the pound USD. So it's a struggle when you're in a lot of profit like P&L. When I originally took this position, I took off profits. I took 2/3 of the position size off when we hit the low of day on that day. So basically what's left on the trade is 1/3 of the position size. This position yesterday, it's not now, but yesterday it was up like 36%. That's massive in FX. And yes, that's 36% on the total accounts equity. That's a big move. It's levered up. But this is the reason why I trade this way. It gives me the opportunity to be in a nice monstrosity of a position for the day trade, risking 1%. And if it works out, I take 2/3 of the position off. And then I'm still have a decent size levered up position to catch a massive trend. I caught the pound yen trend to the upside. All of this, right? I caught all of this. Well, the bulk of it, right? And here's where I executed the long position. And here's where I was stopped out of a trailing stop loss. So that's a lot, right? About 1,000 pips right there. And since we did do this big move, we've basically been trading sideways to down, wedging up in this little formation here. And yesterday, or not yesterday, but a couple days ago, we got a daily breakout above that. Now, we didn't take out daily resistance, but we did take out daily supply. Next day, traded up very much higher. This is basically just to stop anybody out who got short here. And then you've seen a massive expanding move to the downside. This traded up into this candle's range just a little bit, and then boom, you're seeing that down. You saw that downside again. So basically, this is a pullback. What I'm watching on the pound yen in the future is to see how it acts around this level here. If it gets back up to 151.480, I'm going to be looking for that to hold as resistance. If it does not, then I will not look to short it. All right. So this is all going to hedge on what happens with the yen. If the yen finds support, the Japanese yen, if these last 5 or 6 days that you've seen a massive decline in price, if it finds support down there and starts to head higher quickly, then I'm going to have to look at that as we might be seeing a risk-off environment, and that first initial sell-off was just a bear trap to get people caught up in the minutia. Price does that, right? Price will do that all the time. So that's what I'm doing right now. My only two positions on FX are Euro USD and Pound USD. I have not entered any trade this week yet because I have not seen anything that I absolutely love. And also, those two trades are in fantastic profits, right? Here's my entry on the Euro USD. This was a push lower. On the next day, we looked on the smaller time frame chart looking for resistance. We found that resistance and then boom. And I've been sitting in it ever since. Yesterday, we seen a nice big expanding move to the downside, taking out this swing low. All right. That's another reason why you did get such a big expansion on the day was because there was a lot of stops sitting down here. All right. Now this is a quarterly level, and then I have an 8-hour Heath level there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. That's what we were looking for on this day. Not yesterday, but the day before. This was traded back up into the 8-hour Heath level. If you would have been looking for short side continuation, that would have been the place to enter. However, the people that follow me more than likely did not do that because their support was right there. So you were essentially taking a short into support. And I never, ever recommend that happening because we don't know if it's going to break down or not. So that's that. But nice big range expansion to the downside. You are into monthly support down below it now. Let's go look at it on the larger time frames. Stretch this baby out just a bit. This is that monthly support. Quarterly, sorry, but here's the monthly support I'm talking about. This bearish candle, that's your last monthly close and the lowest monthly close since price traded away from it. So coming into that yesterday, I was expecting that to act as a bit of support. And you can see how this candle, its entire range, puts that support level roughly around the midpoint of this bearish breakdown. This is indicative. This is showing you basically that that level was support and the sellers were extremely aggressive to push it below. Just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure whoever's hitting me up that it's not about microphone issues or something. All right, so moving on. Big, strong move to the downside. We're going to look for continuation. You are coming into another swing low down here. You've already closed below it. So the next thing would to be is wait for this thing to pull back into an area of possible resistance. And that's where you want to see rejections in order to take short positions. If we continue to see dollar strength. That's only if we continue to see dollar strength. Let's go look at the dollar. It looks exactly like the Euro USD, just inverse. We're trading up into a daily supply zone that we have not seen since September the 25th. That's when this supply zone was put in. You can see here, you put in a downtrend, lower high, lower low, took out the swing low, retraced all the way back up to that supply zone. Then you got continuation, then a massive run on liquidity here, taking everybody out, and then you get your move to the downside. All right? So we're coming up into that right now. Now, am I looking for that area to hold as resistance? Not necessarily, right? It might for the next day or two, and it can hold obviously for longer, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for dollar continuation to the upside. There's a reason this thing is breaking out. And if it is going to turn around, I would assume that it would probably trade up to at least this high here before reversing back to the downside. You got this right here coming into that as well. So let's see what happens moving on into the week and into next week. S&P 500 coming off a bit. Got this trend line from tack to this low to this low. That is June the 21st to July the 19th. You can see here how it was acting as support, and then boom, there's your breakdown, traded back up into daily resistance, horizontal resistance, as well as this trend line. So that was a bit of confluence right there, and then you've seen a big move to the downside. These last two green days are pullbacks. I'm not looking for bullish continuation. I have a level there. Let's go see what it is. It is the 2 hour. So I was looking for price to trade up to there and then show rejection. Not quite getting that yet. With this slight move to the upside, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing doesn't find support and then move a little bit higher before then finding resistance and looking lower. So basically one way we can do this, well, no, not really, because this leg was retraced almost 100% of it. So I was going to say throw a fib on it, but just basically you don't need to, because you can see this is your down leg of price. If you're looking at this as a pullback from here, So this saying this was the low, this was last quarter or this quarter's open, got a touch of it flawlessly, then you trade it up. So if you're looking at this just to be a pullback, I guess then you could fib that to see if that's even valid. And I mean, you did trade well below the 618, but just briefly. So we'll see. I'm looking for a resistance if it does get higher, right? Here or here, one of these two areas. If it doesn't, if price just blasts right through there, then we're going to be talking about higher prices, right? That's how we do. We watch price. We let price dictate to us what it's doing. Then we make our trading decisions based upon what price is doing. Now for the Bitcoin, everybody's favorite asset. So I have one guy on Twitter asking me if this is a downtrend. The answer to you is yes. Absolutely, 100%. There is no if and or buts about it. I mean, if you go out and look from here and say that this is an uptrend, okay, but I mean like now. Near term price is in a downtrend. Here it is. There's your trend line right there. It's moving lower. It's not moving higher anymore. This is when it's going up. This is going down. Okay, so yes, your uptrend has shifted to a near-term downtrend. There is a level or a line right there. You need to get above that before you even start looking for bullish positions. I would go as far as say is wait until this swing high gets taken out, because that's your first lower high. So basically, price could trade all the way up there and then reverse again, right? You need to get above this, and you need to see higher low support formed before you can even think about looking for bullish positions. Do what price says, not what anything else says. Here is a very important trend line. This is why people are still extremely bullish on Bitcoin, because it broke out above this trend line. If this asset was going to continue lower, in their opinions, they would have wanted to see that happen here. But it did not, right? You got the breakout. But look at the breakout. Is it a vicious breakout? Not really. It traded more sideways than up, right? Last week, this week here, running up into the 618 level of the main decline. On this channel, we've been talking about that since Bitcoin took out this swing low and put in a bottom down here. Since that happened, we've been looking at these prices for potential resistance. And so far, it is playing out absolutely perfectly. Couldn't have gotten any better. So, that's what we need to see. Since we're price action traders on this channel, we are waiting for this thing to break out above this trend line and not be a trap. That's very important. One daily close isn't good enough. We know traps exist. You can get a daily close and then the next day be an engulfing back to the downside. If that happens, then you're not looking for bullish positions. But if you do get a breakout and then a retest, and that retest holds, and you see some more bullish ranges expanding to the upside, then I see no problem with looking to scalp it to the upside, right? I see no problems with it. There's a ton of support down here. You got last month's open. That's this line here. You have the 200 exponential moving average that's setting right roughly about the same area. You have the 50% retracement from this advance from the B Word podcast to this high. This low tax the 50% retracement. So if you're looking at this as a bullish expansion, this as merely a retracement from this, then you are looking for this to break out. And the measured move of that would put it roughly around 58K. If you do get that, right? If you do get that. But pops in price usually get sold into. And that's what's been happening every day almost. Bitcoin gets a bounce and then it gets sold off. Today might be different. Right, you're already up 3.74% on the day. So let's see what happens, right? I actually was expecting this to break down pretty soon, because when your bounces get lower, that generally means that the sellers are getting more aggressive and that whatever support is down here would break. And that could still happen, because this is just a pop in the downtrend. So that trend line's not very far above you, right? So at least wait on that before you get extremely bullish. You can see here that price is clearly moving to the downside. But it can change. These trends can change in a snap of a finger. So just be careful, right? Just be careful. If you're trading, use less than 1% risk, especially if you're new. If you're just holding spot Bitcoin, then you have nothing to worry about, right? If you're just holding spot Bitcoin, you absolutely don't even need to look at charts. Just buy red weeklies and move on, right? Who cares what price does? If you're holding it, you're holding it for the long term. If you've bought a ton of Bitcoin up at around the $50,000 area because you're expecting prices to hit $400,000 by December and you levered up because you want to be rich and you want to quit your job, I have bad news for you. It's not going to happen. You need to make sure you get that position lower, smaller, because nobody knows if price is going to go up. Nobody knows if price is going to go down. But $500,000? Come on. This has already been a massive, massive move from this low, because that's where you have to do it from. $3,800 up to 64 grand. And you're expecting a bigger than that move to come? Why? Right? Why? Why are you expecting that? It's already had a massive move to the upside. So it's best to take the approach of, yeah, this could possibly be the top, right? Instead of being like, oh no, this is going to $150,000. Because if you take the approach that this could be the top of Bitcoin's bull run, then you're not going to get hurt if it continues to go lower. I still have my bullish position on, right? My hodl position. I'm scalping these downside moves to add to my Bitcoin position. But my position is built for 10 to 15 years down the road, not for now. I'm going to see 2 more halvenings before I even think about selling any of my Bitcoin, right? And that's just to see if it continues to do what it has been doing. And what Bitcoin has been doing for its entire history is you have a halvening, then you have a big bullish move, massive bullish move, then you have a blow off top, then you have a bear market cycle for the next 1.5 to 2 years until the next halvening. And that's what Bitcoin has been doing since day one. And that's what Bitcoin has already done. Okay? You had your halvening. You had a monstrosity of a move from 3K up to 68K, 64K. So, is this the top? Probably. Right? Probably. I don't understand it. I don't anymore. I don't understand. Just treat it like it could be the top and you'll be safe, right? If you keep want to add spot, do it. Right? $40,000. If you think it's going to go to $100,000, buy some spot, but don't do it levered. You're going to get crushed. In bear markets, you can have massive moves to the upsides. In a bear market, you can get big, strong pushes higher and fake everybody out, right? Look at this. This isn't the top, but just look what I'm talking about. When a top was formed, right? Then you found support down here at a demand zone, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight days of bullish price action. Absolutely looks bullish, right? Over here, you get the same kind of things. People will always expect Bitcoin to keep going up because they can't fathom it being the top. And generally, it's because they bought the top, right? Here you go, big move to the downside. That move was completely retraced. Then you had a higher low support formed. Boom. So people probably thought that this was the bottom. And it's going higher. And what happened? It got sold into. So pops in price usually get sold into when you have already had a blow off top. Now, this doesn't look like a blow off top because you had what everybody called the Wyckoff distribution pattern up there. So it wasn't generally a blow off top. But all the other cryptos have had a blow off top. Every single one of them. Right? Except for ADA. That thing already made new all-time highs. Here's Ethereum. Blow off top. Here's your day. Here's your bullish Expansion to the upside, very, very bullish. Multiple bullish candles going up, 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 up. And then boom, just in a few short days, you sniped all of that out. But Ethereum is already back up to the highs again. So is this a pullback? Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. Very, very, very crazy moves we've seen this year in crypto. Blow off top on Link, right? Big bullish move to the upside, and just in a span of a week or two, boom, 80% drop, 60% drop, 50% drop on these things. So the top could be in, guys, and prepare for it, right? I don't know that it is, and I'm not saying it is. I'm saying there's a possibility of it. So be safe, please. Please be safe. That's pretty much it. So let me see what you guys want to look at. Check the BTC moon phase indicator trading now. Yeah, I mean, it has been, to be fair, it has been calling it, right? I mean, I see it all over Twitter and everywhere else. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, so not only that's supposed to be support, right? I don't know. Yeah, support. It's got to be support because it's underpriced. Yeah, and you hit it. So, yeah, it looks like you do have... But listen, I mean, you know that's support, right? Guys, these indicators follow price. This one doesn't. This one follows the moon. And for whatever reason, people assuming that the moon phases are causing Bitcoin to do this. It's not, right? Bitcoin's doing it because of buyers and sellers. If they're looking at moon phases and they're buying here, it's not working. It's not working. Still, let's get rid of all these things. Let's get rid of the moon phases. I've seen enough. Yeah, you're supposedly at support calling by the moons. All right, the moons are calling support. So if it works, then you should see a daily close above daily resistance. This isn't even Bitcoin, sorry. Let's get over here. But it's going to be the same, right? It looks exactly the same. Objective daily resistance is up here. You're trading at this daily's resistance. But the real resistance level is up here. Here is your support. Here is your resistance. Let's get rid of the drawing so I can show you that. Here's resistance that you need a daily breakout above. There. And then here is daily support that you need a daily breakdown below. This is the price range. When this was put in and then we traded down to this support, I said a few days ago that this is likely going to be your price range for multiple days. And it has been, right? Because it's still in price discovery. It's sellers are being exhausted down here because professional sellers do not sell into support. So there's not many shorting down here, but they will short the bounces, right? Each bounce you get off of support, it becomes now more probable that you might see price trade back down to support. Then you exit your position. Then you get a bounce. Then you short it. Then you get back to support. Then you exit it. So that's basically what's going on. That's why price trades in ranges. People are buying at support. People are selling at resistance. When it gets to these levels, whichever way it breaks down, then you know which way you're looking for entries. I won't be bullish until we get above this swing, right? Once we get above that, then I'll be looking for bullish entries for trading. If we get above that, 48,347. Because we can trade all the way up to that and still fail. So I want to see this taken out, and I want to see it taken out on a fabulous fashion. All right. Good morning, everybody. Wow, there's a lot of comments in there. Sorry about that. What's up, traders? What's up? Morning to one of the best trader I know, Shadino from Crypto Banter. He is the best. Okay, so you're in here. Edom saying good morning. Oh, to you and Sheldino from Crypto. Okay. All right, I see what you're saying. Thank you, my friend. I don't know anybody from Crypto Banter. Somebody told me to give him a look the other day. I did, and I can't really watch YouTube traders because the first 5 seconds they get into their shill, right? Make sure you buy this, make sure you buy that. Send me money for this, send me money for that. That's why It's impossible for me to even watch them. But as far as the technical analysis they had on the channel, it looked solid, right? They're more of what I call your traditional TA analysis guys who look at, moving averages and stuff like that. Candlestick formations, like head and shoulders, all those things. I point them out when I see them, but I don't trade them. I make my trading decisions based off of price. What's up, everybody? Heath's music much better than Sheldon, trust me. Oh, not music, much. Oh, I don't claim to be better than anybody, Dan, but I appreciate the compliment, my friend. By only judging the JXY, you would say it's risk on. No. What I'm saying is if it's risk on, you would generally see the Japanese yen gaining strength and the Swiss franc gaining strength. We're seeing the exact opposite for now. So I'm not saying that it's risk off or risk on, right? I'm just saying that we are seeing what looks to be like risk off in some of the risk markets, but the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc index are not showing us that it is risk on or off. Well, it shows that it's risk on, essentially. And if it is risk on, then I do expect Bitcoin to find support, right? If risk is still on, the S&P 500 will find support, the dollar will find resistance, and Bitcoin will more than likely find support, right? The dollar's going up, which is pretty much the reason why Bitcoin's going down, okay? If the dollar finds resistance, then that will tempt buyers to come back into Bitcoin. While the dollar's making highs, people are not going to be looking for long entries as much, if that makes sense. But the Swiss franc and Japanese yen index, if they find support and start to make big range expansions to the upside, then it's going to look like that down move was essentially a bear trap. So, yeah. How do you set up your target? Where do you take 2/3 of your position, move your stock to break even? So since I'm a day trader, and that's from DN Kalev, I take my entries based on what I'm seeing intraday. My target is generally the low of day if I'm looking for shorts, and if I'm looking for longs, it's generally the high of day. I'm looking for that range to expand in the same direction, right? So basically you get your initial push in the morning from the London Open. Not always, but most of the time. You'll get a big strong move to the upside. And then the New York Open comes, you see a pullback, and then you get the rest of the expansion back to the upside to continue the trade or to continue the day. Now, it doesn't always work, because if it's a choppy day or an inside day, or I'm just wrong on direction, you eat a stop. And you just got to learn to hit more wins than you do losses. And that takes patience. That's all it is, patience. I have not taken a single trade this week, and I'm a day trader. Right? Doesn't mean I'm taking trades all the time. It just means that I'm looking for intraday opportunities. But in order for me to take that trade, I must see what I want to see. He's been following Crypto Banner for more than 6 months. Yeah, I mean, they have a big following, right? They have almost 400,000 subscribers. So you're not the only one that's been following them. A lot of people are. Can you check .USD and Bitcoin USD? Well, we did check Bitcoin, but I'll go look where we're looking at Bitcoin. But we'll look at DOT. I'm assuming that DOT's going to look pretty much exactly the same as Bitcoin, right? And it does. It's at support. Now this looks like my mouse is flipping out again. Here's support. You did get a close below it. Here's support. You did get a close below it, but it's just a slight close. The next day you traded up, found resistance, came off. This day you traded back down into support, and you opened red, and now you're green. So it looks like you're going to see higher prices. So what I will be watching for on DOT is I would be watching for it to trade up to about 31 bucks, 62 cents. At that point, I would be looking for resistance. And then the next level that I would watch if you get a daily close above 31.62 would be 33.44. Right? Those are the two areas of which I would look for resistance to hold. You break out above that, then there's a pretty good chance you're moving on. to up, going up. Oof, I wouldn't compare. Oh, sorry. I think I just read that. Good morning. Wonder what October will look like. It's hard to say. Good morning, bro. I liked it up. Yeah, it's moving up. Oliver's asking them where they follow Crypto Banter at. Please, it's just Crypto Banter. Just look up Crypto Banter in YouTube. I don't know why we're talking about Crypto Banter on a small channel. Can you please look at XPT USD? Yeah, let's go look at it. XPT USD. I don't have that one, so I'm going to have to type it in. Platinum. I know silver's getting destroyed. This is in a downtrend. Let's get rid of all these old levels, because this is in a downtrend, and the downtrend has continued for a bit. So you might find some support soon. Looks like it already has, judging by these two bullish candles. But remember, in downtrends, pops in prices usually get sold into. It's until you get the breakout. Once you break out of the trend, then you're looking for, bullish moves. So right now, and it was a break of support even. That was support. You could see it was support until you got this breakdown. Now this breakdown was immediately followed up by a big bullish candle taking out that high and closing above it. It wasn't an outside day because it didn't take out the low. However, it does indicate strength. So what you want to see is, I wouldn't do this because you're still inside of the longer term downtrend, is you could look for possible support. Right now it's at it. If it's going to move higher for a possible breakout, you're going to see it find support roughly around where it is now, the 618. You also have the most important thing to look for, old resistance right there. And it looks like it's supporting this one for now. So that is where support is for now. 949 spot 45. It's not because I said it is, it's because price is. So as long as you're not closing a daily below this, you could possibly see price move higher. But in downtrends, bullish price action usually gets sold into. But this is good. This is what you want to see if you think an asset's about to reverse. So there's a chance that it may. Those are two big strong candles, and you're only testing the 618 of this move. So you could see another move up, and you're going to find exceedingly a lot of resistance right there around 1032.05. That's your resistance level up here. That held here and here, and you haven't been back to test it. So yeah, it's still in the very, very early makings of what possibly could potentially be a reversal, but it's not yet. You can't say it yet. You need to get above that, above 1032. Then you can start looking for bullish entries for potential trend continuation to the upside. Can I take a look at Aussie USD? Yeah, let's go look at it. Aussie's been fairly weak. Not quite as weak as the pound, but it has been quite weak. So we've seen this is similar to what we were just looking at on that other one just now, platinum, right? You're in an overall longer term downtrend. So price is trading down, finds a support level, then has a big bullish explosion out of that area. So this looks like the makings of a potential bullish reversal. But you haven't got that. See, you've basically gotten selling. So when you see this, guys, just keep it in your head, like especially on Bitcoin. When you see those big moves to the upside, but you're in a daily downtrend, always tell yourself pops in price usually gets sold into. So don't look at it as, oh my God, Bitcoin's going back to $1 million or going to $1 million. My channel's not popular because I talk about the bear side of Bitcoin, right? That's why the channel's not that popular. People love to hear how bullish everything is, and it's just not what's going on. I like to keep it real, if you want to say it like that. All right, so here was support on Aussie Yen, or Aussie dollar. Apologies, you broke down. Nice daily close, well off of the support level. So now you have to see if that level is going to hold as resistance on today. If the dollar does a pullback, you're probably going to see this thing trade higher. I would probably, since support is there, and then you have a area of possible supply right there at 72,544, I would probably want to watch this level more, because that also puts you up close to the high of this bearish candle here, right? So that if you do get a close above that supply zone, then you know that you're probably going on to test resistance up here before I would look to do anything. Right now, you're looking for resistance holds for continuation to the downside. This thing is bearish, right? You're under the 50 on the RSI. All your moving averages are above price. This is situated to do something like that, right? Or this. Like, yeah. And it's the first time it's happened since March of 2020. Since this bullish move. This is the first time that your moving averages have been sloped to the downside, and all of them in their right spots. The 21st, or the 21, the 50, the 100, 200. So, yeah. I would look for big pops in price. Like if you do get up to here, or even up into here, I would be looking to take new short positions there. And the only way I would stop is if you got above this swing high. Because if you did, then these moving averages would start to curl back up to the upside. But right now, it's structured for a bearish trend. It has been in one for a while. So you can see some sideways price action, choppy, moving up, down. But ultimately, I'd be looking for those highs to short. Does BTC's yesterday bullish engulfing candle have any significance? Was it an engulfing? Yes, I mean, there's no engulfing. Not yesterday, not today. That is not a bullish engulfing candle, my friend. Right? You took out the low, but you didn't take out the high. And you closed low on the day. This candle has significance because it's indicating strength, continuation. Right? You're into daily resistance and you're fighting with it right now. Right now. Right? That's daily resistance. You can see that price is playing around with it right now. Big strong move. Just like over here. Big strong move. This move got sold into. So probably going to see this one go a little bit higher. Maybe all the way up into here. Then look for that move back to the downside. Because, you know what I mean? Like, it has the opportunity to go lower. The bears are backing off. The shorts are backing off when price gets down here. They're exiting their positions. They're waiting for the buyers to prop price back up. Once you generate enough liquidity up in here, yeah, you might see this thing just boom, right to the downside. If you get above this swing, then you've changed your daily downtrend, right? Because you've taken out this swing high. And this is ultimately where I am short at, is this swing high. Not anymore. Now it's down right above this. So if price continues to move up, I will exit that position. I will probably exit that position if it gets around 10% into profit. 10% gain, I will just close it out. Because it was at 30% down here. So it's, it's not looking good for my short position. That is up here now because I re-shorted again on this push up. So it brought my cost basis down. Right? And now price is trading sideways. So when I see this happening, I want to get out of those positions because of opportunity costs. Like I can deploy that capital elsewhere. Put it to work. If price is going to trade sideways, I want to wait for it to either take out this high or take out this low. That's when I'm going to look to attack. Once the liquidity is crushed then the sellers can step back up and push price lower. And from up there, they might get enough of the selling to push it through, right? If this is going to continue. But the one thing about Bitcoin is people love it and people are buying it. But this is what we were looking for on it. This was the reason why I got short, man. That's a lot of selling. And it came after a bull trap, so it made it even that much more better. Then you had continuation. See, people were looking to short this swing high here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you have this low. That's your liquidity to the downside. That's the bearish targets. Bullish target. Let's call it this swing high here. You can barely see it, but it is there. Alright, so let's stretch it out so you can see that wick. Look what price does, right? Price trades down here, stops ahead of this level. Trades back up. There's the stops. That wick. That's where, if you got short on this move down, that would be the best spot to do it. So anybody short from that wick, they're gone. Right? Boom, gone. Then what happens? Well, we trade sideways down a little bit. Nice little trap to the upside. And then boom, shakalaka. So what have we done? We've done the same thing. Put in a low, then put in a lower low. Then you had resistance, or you had price push up and set in this lower high. So this lower high could absolutely be the target. Since we have this low down here, so this is moving on will be the new area for bears to target. Here. And then here. And everything else don't matter. Let's get rid of this one too, because all of it don't matter. That's your liquidity in this market right now. All right. See, the markets are traded every single day. So new orders come in every single second of every single day. So price doesn't really care about what happened 3 days ago. Price sets up traders and then makes them fail because they're very impatient. New traders are so impatient, it's not even funny. So this is where the stops are from anybody who got short down there. They have trailed their stop to this swing high. Why? Well, because it's the highest swing high. And then you've seen a bearish reaction from there. So this basically called everybody in to bring their stops and set them right there. Okay? Same for longs. Longs, anybody that got long, say over here, they've maybe trailed their stops up to here. And then you have new positions taken right there. So this is where the liquidity is in this market. These are the targets. This is your bullish target. If you're bullish, you're looking for this to get taken out. And if you're bearish, you're looking for this to get taken out. The way price is finding support here, right? All these lows right there, those will eventually get taken out, more than likely, if the trend will continue lower, right? So we have to see that what happens once this high is taken out. If we get up there and trade sideways and, you know, blah, 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 I'm going to be executing new short positions, aiming for this down here. Well, we will see, because I don't know what the market ever is going to do. Hopefully that helps, or at least explains to you how the market really works, right? The market is chasing liquidity. It's looking for old swing highs and old swing lows. This is why you always buy the top and sell the bottom, because you're looking for the trend to always continue, and price doesn't do that, right? Price only trends like 30% of the time, and the rest of the time it's chopping traders apart. So let me read some more real quick. All right. Don't know what's going on. Schmitty year, chill out. So what's going on? Who's Schmitty year? I haven't even seen nobody like that. All right. Are we going to 38K tomorrow? No. Maybe. It's right here. We've already, I mean, yeah, it's close. But I don't know if we'll do it tomorrow or not. Don't know if we'll do it tomorrow or not. This could probably play out all the way up until Monday. Like, who knows, right? But this was a big bounce. Pops in price usually get sold into in downtrends, but it looks like Bitcoin is looking for liquidity. And those are your two big spots to watch. But daily resistance is close to that. Right? There's your daily resistance level right there. And that's why I say wait on closes, because they tell you what's happening. So basically what I would be looking for is I would be looking for Bitcoin to put in a bullish candle, take out this on a closing basis today, maybe close up in here, also take out the supply zone would be good for Bitcoin because that's still there too, right? So this is where it needs to get a close above. Then I would look for a pullback, and then I would look for a nice big bullish candle to move up into this. And then once that happens, what happens next will be vitally important. If you get a massive rejection from there, then my next target would be down here. But if you get a daily close above this, and then the next day see continuation, then the market's looking for this up here, this swing high. But there's supply there as well, so it might not make it. I don't know. Nobody knows. Check the economic events on... Yeah, I don't really care about economic events. Top or not, it's realistic view. As traders, you have to stay sober. Don't get drunk by the opium. Absolutely. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Just understand that there is a possibility that Bitcoin has had a top. And you'll be a lot safer. Too many cycles, one big maybe? Nah, I don't know about that, my friend. That's basically trying to make price fit your narrative, and that's when you get in trouble. Price is king. Thanks for sharing some golden nuggets and gems. Cash is risk off, dollar strong. KK237, that 4-season indicator looks fun. Don't know what that is. Thanks, Heath, for being real and straightforward. Honesty is king. Been following crypto banter for almost a year. Heath is very good. Yeah, we're still talking about crypto banter. Why do you say you don't see a reason why DXY will not break the resistance? Why do I see a reason that... Oh, I'm saying I don't... Well, let's get one thing straight. I do not know what price will ever do, right? But this is a big stretch so far. So, will it break through? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's where it's heading. But then I'm looking for a pullback in price. And then we'll look for long positions. You just can't do anything when it's like this, right? The expansion has already taken place. So I'm basically, when I do these live streams on Tuesday and Thursday morning in front of the New York Open, we're generally looking for new positions to take on that day, right? And I just haven't seen anything that I love because of this massive expansion. I am already positioned for it. You can see right there. That shows that I'm short. That shows that I'm short. So I'm short on pound and USD from this swing low. So I have capitalized on this whole move. So it's when you're setting so pretty already, it's easier, a lot easier for you to say, I don't see nothing I like today, so leave it alone. So I haven't really seen anything worth jumping on. So we need the dollar to chill out a bit, so that way we can find lower high support, and then I can get you guys in on some positions. But I can't have you taking positions when we're just like a freight train, right? And it looks like this is the target. That's your last swing high. That's a big one, 94.74. I don't think you'll get up there today either. But nobody knows what price is ever going to do. But that's going to be a big resistance right there. 94.571. So what I'd like to see is I'd like to see it get exhausted. The buyers get exhausted at resistance, meaning they're closing their positions. Then you see the selling coming in, but that selling is usually profit taking. Then you look for higher low support. That's when you look to execute long positions, aiming for that resistance that hasn't been hit. So I don't want it to get hit. I want it to chill. This gives us a nice bullish target for next week. But yesterday was a massive move. Yesterday stopped out a lot of people, guys. A lot of people. Retail is also short on USD JPY. And I've been talking for 2 weeks that we're looking for this to break out, and we're looking for bullish moves, right? We're looking for bullish entries. It never gave us a valid entry. It did for one morning, one Thursday or one New York open morning. There gave you a slight opportunity to get long, and that was it. That was it. I have not seen an entry that I love on this yet, and it's already ran because retail thinks this is going to turn around here. Why? Why would you think that? Because it did before? Yeah, you can't short tops and you can't call bottoms. Because traders like me are looking to capitalize on your liquidity. Your stop losses that are setting above that, I am exiting my profitable positions into your stop loss. So you need to think more like me. You need to think I need to exit my profitable trades into retail's stop losses. And that's exactly what happened here. Right? They were looking to short this and boom, see ya. No, we've been looking for this thing to break out and go higher for the carry trade. Investors like that spread between the interest rates. JPY's interest rates are below zero, ours are not. So that is, even though it's little, it's still, you can still generate alpha just by getting long this pair and setting on it. You will generate a carry flow for that moving average, or not moving average, for, yeah, sorry. You know what I'm saying? The interest rate. That small little spread between interest rates is enough to generate alpha. So that's why we were looking for bullish positions. We just missed it. And you're going to miss trades too. It's going to happen. I don't care. I know I'll find one. I know I will find one. All right. Let's see here. Let me see if there's anything important. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to cut anybody that is bullish. I'm not trying to crap on their analysis, guys. I am bullish long term on Bitcoin, but I'm trying to also help the members of this ETM community, and as well as my members, my people, the people that follow me, and specifically me, because I have a lot of subscribers that are not CTM. And they come here because they know they're going to get no BS analysis. I'm not going to try to, I want you guys to be prepared for the right things, not the wrong ones. So, yeah, you need to understand that there is a probability that Bitcoin has put in a top. And with knowing that, then if you have a lot of money in Bitcoin, you might seriously want to think about shaving some of it down. If you're in profit. If you're sitting in Bitcoin right now and you're at a loss, it's also important for them people because they may not ever see price get back to where they got long at. And I don't want to see people just set in a losing position because of some other YouTuber saying that some 4-year cycle model is going to put Bitcoin at $400,000 by December. Right? That's just not. It's just, I don't know, right? It doesn't seem like it will ever happen, not this year. I think you've already seen a massive bullish explosion from Bitcoin. PBOC FUD, and I got burned. Got trapped in it all. Bitcoin was on 48K, then, yeah. It's that easy, man. You got to learn how to buy support, right? Buy supports, not resistances. 48K that's pretty high. Yeah. See, you were getting long at 48K, Matt, and that's where I got short. Right? And one last thing before I close it out, guys. If I was wrong on my short position and the bulls were right, I would have gotten stopped out. But I'm making money. So just keep that in mind. Right? We get above here, then we can talk about looking for bullish entries. Until that happens, you got to let it chill out. You got to let it do its thing. Let it find the liquidity. Let it go in its direction. Let it tell you where it's wanting to go. And with my help, we'll get you in on the right side of the market, guys. All models are wrong. The volume required for 400K this cycle would be ridiculous. Yeah, it would literally need every single American to deposit like $5,000 into Bitcoin to see those kinds of prices. It's just, they think, I mean, if you just look at past market cycles, you can see it. Every halving, you get a big monstrosity of a bullish move, and then you have a bear market cycle. They just aren't seeing that this big monstrosity bullish move that we just got. They, for some reason, don't think that that's the high. But the price is telling you that it could very well be. Boom, to the downside. Dead cat bounce. Now you're seeing more downside. Just be careful, guys. Make sure you trade safe, trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I answer every single question that I can. And just trade safe, right? Right now, we're not doing anything on Bitcoin. We're going to let it move. We're going to let it see if it wants to get above that liquidity up there. And then we'll look for possible short entries. As far as Forex goes, I haven't seen anything that I can even remotely trade. Not yet. I might see something in the next hour or so. And if I do, then obviously people will understand in the Discord groups. You guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you trade safe, trade smart. Happy trading.